This is Sandra Walter here with Pedal Magazine, and I'm in Carlsbad, California, just north of San Diego, with Canadian Clara Hughes.
Hi!
She is here for her first team camp with the Specialized Lululemon Women's Pro Team, and yeah, how's it going?
It's going good. It's been pretty mind-boggling being here on the team. I feel like a total rookie with all this experience. I'm kind of like, I'm here and I'm new and I can't believe I'm wearing this team kit and I'm racing with these girls and riding with them, but yet I know I belong here, I know I have my place, so I'm kind of like in a state of confusion right now. But I'm loving it. It's so much fun.
Oh, good.
I'm a kid again.
Awesome. I was going to ask you what it felt like to be the newcomer again.
Yeah, it's a really good feeling. It's everything is exciting, and I'm so grateful to have the support of soigneur, mechanic, directors, to have a team car following us for 200 kilometers yesterday on our training ride was pretty sweet. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think there's a kind of a good balance happening inside of me where, like I said, I have all the experience, but I still feel like a kid again, and this is all fresh and new, and what a great place to be in an Olympic year.
Awesome. Yeah, I just talked to Ina, and I was asking her about how it is to be riding with you, and she's like, oh, Clara and I go way back.
We go way back. We have so many shared experiences, and Ina was a big part of why I wanted to be on this team. I want to race with her, and every time I had to sprint last year, I would always visualize leading Ina out. I'd be like, Ina's on your rail, Ina's on your rail, you gotta go, 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 go. And it was for myself, but it wasn't as fun as leading her out.
So is that kind of, do you think, going to be your role on the team?
I think I'll have many roles, and I just, every race that we do as a team, we're going to try to win. So I want to be a part of either winning or helping my teammates win, and that's how I always race my bike. So I'm excited to be within a group of international racers. I'm the only Canadian on the team, if you can believe it. But everybody is at that level, and the reason they're on this team is they're a high achiever, and they have the ability to perform when it counts and on demand. And to be a part of that is something special, and gives me confidence too, because I know going into every race we'll have a plan, and we'll have a plan of attack, and then we're going to try to win. And that's why I race my bike. That's why I speed skate, because I love competition. I love trying to succeed and seeing what's possible.
So Ina told me to ask you about a crash.
Yeah, one of our myriad shared experiences was this gnarly crash in New Zealand, and it was back in, I think, 1998. And of course we were dropped on the climb. So Ina and Dee Dee Demet, who's Dee Dee Barry now, Michael Barry's wife, at the time we were all dropped together, and we were chasing like demons on the descent, just giving her on every corner, and we're all really good descenters. Until we came around one corner and there was a crash in the guardrail. There were bodies in the guardrail. There was a car parked on the left and people walking across the road to help the riders that were down. And Dee Dee somehow got through. I T-boned a South African because I had nowhere to go and was catapulted off my bike. Ina crashed into me, and we landed on everyone. And somehow weren't hurt. Ina's bike was broken in half, and my face was cut open. I didn't know it until I bent over and saw this blood. And I just started screaming bloody murder. And Ina looked at me, and first she was like, oh my God. And then she saw that I was pretty much in shock. So I threw my glasses on the ground. I was like, what's wrong with me? It doesn't hurt, but there's blood. And Ina picked up my glasses. I remember trying to put them on my face, and she's a lot shorter than me, so it's a pretty funny scene. And I was like, get these glasses off me. And I threw them on the ground again. She's like, Clara, get back on your bike. Finish the race. Get back on your bike. I'm like, okay. So I got back on my bike, face split open, blood everywhere, and Ina's bike was broken, so the only bike they had for her was a 62-centimeter frame, and she had to ride the top tube to finish the race.
Wow.
And I finished the last 8 kilometers covered in blood, and that's my story. I had a good plastic surgeon in New Zealand who was Canadian, who stitched up my face, and
wow.
He did a pretty good job.
Crazy. So this kind of leads into my question about when we were getting the team introductions. Basically, the fact that you are intense was brought up. So how would you kind of comment on that and maybe explain?
Well, it's kind of funny because most people that know me outside of sport, like particularly people I train with or work with in sport, most people think Clara's so nice. She's like always smiling and she's so sweet, and some people even ask my husband, wow, Clara's not really that competitive. he always laughs because he's like, come on, you don't know my wife. And so I mean, I'm competitive, and I'm a fierce competitor, and when it's game on, it's game on, and I love a challenge. I love to try to win something. I love to be out there and to die trying. If I'm going to fail, I'm going to die trying. And I'm never one to shy away from a challenge either. So I think I'm gathering that my teammates are kind of learning that about me already after 5 days of training camp. So I think I kind of have a lot to live up to. Hopefully I can fill those shoes this season.
I'm sure you can. So tell me about how this whole opportunity with Specialized Lululemon came up for you.
Well, it really came up last year at the World Championships before the World. I was in London at the test event that they only had for men and not for women. Thank you, UCI and Olympic Organizing Committee, for not giving us a race, but the CCA actually sent me there, and they were, good enough to say, hey, Clara, we want you to see the courses. So I got to ride the time trial course, the road course. Ina was there as well, and Christy Scrimger was there as well, who is the owner of this team, and she managed everything for High Road the last number of seasons. So I had coffee with Ina and Christy in London, and Christy said, Clara, we really need you for the team time trial next year. And I was like, yeah, I'm here. Let's talk. And it literally started with this idea of possibly signing me on for the second half of the season, because I wanted to have more freedom with my schedule. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I really wanted to be on the team all year. And Christy as well emailed me back. She said, we really want you full on. And they've been really good to me in giving me the freedom to choose my schedule, and I have a great race plan for next year, and I tell you, it's just amazing to be a part of this team that functions at such a high level after pretty much doing everything myself. Last year, my coach, Chris Razdilski, was a champ last year. He did so much for me, and I think for both of us, we need to get me on a really good team, because we both used a lot of energy, and by the end of the year, it was pretty exhausting. So now I have the best of everything, and I'm excited to see what I can do with it.
Awesome. Well, it looks like it's a lot of fun too. Like, it looks like the team is really tight-knit.
Yeah, and just from day one of this camp, it's just a really good mix of personalities, a good mix of young and old and new and fresh and tired and exhausted and excited. And I mean, I think we really complement each other, and it's a tough thing to do, but I credit Christy to picking the riders for this team, keeping the riders that clicked and bringing in a few new and old ones to complement what was already a really beautiful thing, and that was last year the HTC High Road team, and this year the Specialized Lululemon team.
Well, it looks like a really exciting project.
Yeah, and just really proud to be a part of it, and especially, because Lululemon is a Canadian company, and last year Larry Corey and everyone at Specialized Canada did so much for me. There was no way I was going to ride any other bike. With everything that they gave me, the support they gave me, and then riding these bikes last year, there was no way I was going to give up my Specialized ride. So, and Shimano Canada as well, Greg and all the guys at Shimano Canada, everyone was so good to me, and I really wasn't going to give up any of the equipment I raced on last year, and I was lucky enough that this team was on all the same equipment.
That's very handy.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your plans for next season. I mean, we touched on the Olympics, obviously a biggie, but what else?
I'm just, I need to get back to Europe to do some racing there. The only race I did, the first and last race last year in Europe, was Worlds. So I need to get my butt kicked, and that's why I'm going over to Europe all of April, and I plan on doing the Giro d'Italia as well in late June, early July, and I'm looking forward to racing against the best and seeing where I stand and seeing what work I need to do, and just being a part of this team's success is something that motivates me. But I want to make the Olympics, and if I'm not good enough, I don't want to go. So I'm training and doing everything I can humanly possible to bring myself into the Canadian Olympic team with a chance to succeed. And I mean, we have such a strong team that nothing is a given, so I have a lot of work to do. And the thought of representing Canada again on the Olympic stage is something that it gives me shivers. It's even, I've been to 5 Olympics, and this feels like I'm trying to go to my first Olympics. So I'm excited about that. And then afterwards, I'm super motivated for the team time trial at the World Championships. Training with these girls this week, I mean, it's going to be hard to make the team. So I really want to be a part of that. We're a machine, and I just can't imagine how fast we're gonna go. It's scary.
That's super cool. So tell me about Right to Play and how it plays a role in the team.
Well, Right to Play is our official charity, and I really hope that I can bring in some energy with my experiences with Right to Play, which has been, very varied, and I've done so much with them over the last 6 years. I was in Mali last month for a week with Adam Van Koeverden. For those of you who don't know, the kayak world champion, Olympic champion, a good friend of mine, and we spent a week there. We both have partnered to fund a youth initiative in Mali, Adam and I. So doing a lot of different things with Right to Play, and we're going to be creative in seeing what we can do as a team, what kind of program we can start, and it'll definitely be female targeted somewhere in Africa in the third world. We're not sure where, and we're not sure what or how or when or why, but we know that we're going to do something, and I think it's something to connect to that definitely keeps things in perspective when we all become too consumed by bike racing.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about Lululemon and the whole yoga thing. Are you a practitioner of yoga?
No, I'm not a yoga or a yogi. I'm more like, I'll hang out with Yogi Bear because I live in the mountains. But it's been good, this camp. We've had a few different instructors, and I've enjoyed it. It's particularly Katie, our current instructor. I feel like I found my yogi, my guru, because she told me at the beginning of class this morning, if you're tired from riding 200 kilometers yesterday, just go out of the pose. No big deal. Whereas I sometimes feel like when I do yoga class, there's like this pressure to, you have to stay even though you feel like you're going to explode. I'm kind of like, I'm too tired to be in this pose. So she gave me the out. That's all I needed to know, is I could just lay down if I needed to, and I learned to love yoga this morning. But I think it's awesome that Lululemon has ventured into this project, because it is totally different than anything they've ever done, and it gives us a sense of purpose that, we're basically, it's up to us to make this something special. They're giving us the opportunity, they're giving us the funding to have this amazing team sponsoring us, funding us, and they think outside of the box, which we're all learning from them, is to how to think about things differently. How can we do this differently? And I think it's going to make a big difference in women's cycling. And not to mention, their clothes are awesome. Like, we're going to be the best dressed team, not in just the women, but in all of cycling.
Nice. Yeah, the jerseys, I haven't taken a picture of them yet, but the jerseys look very unique as well.
Yeah, they're really cool, and if anything, we're going to make our opponents dizzy. But I like it. I seriously, when we've been out riding, I'll look down and I'll be like, is this actually me? This is me in this. This is exciting. I like it. It's black and white, and I got some little maple leaves here.
Oh yeah, I saw those, and some of the American riders got their new sweatshirts with the stars and stripes and everything. Did you get anything special?
I didn't yet, but I've been lucky enough to be an athlete, an elite ambassador for Lululemon since about 2007. And when we had the Olympics in Vancouver, I got many things, but one of them was this great white hoodie with all these little red embroidered maple leaves all around. So I have some cool swag already, but I'm always up for more swag, especially when it's Lululemon. I never get tired of Lululemon. And it's funny because some of the Europeans had never heard of Lululemon. They're like, oh, what's Lululemon, when we came to camp. And then after they got their first bag, they're like, this is really nice stuff. So everybody is sold, and I think it's going to be great. There's so many nationalities on the team. We get to wear our Lululemon gear and our own country's media, and I think we're going to sell it to the world.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to seeing what you can achieve next year, and we're all rooting for you.
Oh, thanks so much.
And thank you so much for your time, Clara.
Anytime.